Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to my latest bread recipe. And in this one I'll show you how to make these wonderful crumpets, sometimes known as English crumpets. It's a very easy and delicious recipe to make, and I'll also show you how to make different shaped crumpets using some of my various cookie cutters. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. I'll leave a link in the description under the video, or you can click on the eye icon top right of the screen to take you directly to the recipe page. I'd also like to thank my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thanks supporters for their very kind help in producing these tutorial videos. I'll be giving you all a name splash and shout out a little later in the video. Okay, let's get on with today's recipe. Okay, I'll start the recipe by making up the yeast mixture. First, add the sugar to the warm water and mix it in. Now add your dried yeast. You can use instant or active dried yeast for this recipe. And this is a good way to test your yeast before you start any bread recipe. Now give that a good mix and set it aside until it activates. Now there's no kneading in this recipe, only whisking. You can hand whisk the mixture using a balloon whisk like this one, or an electric hand beater like mine, which is what I'm going to use. Right, time to add the now active yeast mixture to a bowl. Make sure you get it all out of the jug. Next, add your plain flour. And plain flour in the UK is the same as all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour if you wish, but plain works better for this recipe. Now add your salt. Finally, add your baking powder. Now baking powder gives these crumpets an extra light lift when cooking. And add your baking powder through a fine sieve. As you can see, you get lots of lumps in baking powder. Just push them through with your fingers. Now all you've got to do is give that a good whisk. And if you're using a balloon whisk, beat for 2 minutes. But if you're using an electric hand mixer, you just need to beat for 1 minute. Halfway through the mixing, stop and scrape down the sides of the bowl to incorporate any lumps that stuck on the sides. Once you've cleaned down the sides, finish off the whisking. Once the time's up, scrape down the sides again. Once the mixing's done, cover the bowl. Now I like to use my shower caps for this. It keeps the moisture in the bowl, but it allows the mixture to breathe at the same time. We do have a good selection of colours and patterns in the website shop if you're interested. Now get the bowl into a nice warm spot. I like to use the oven with just the light bulb on. Now allow the mixture to proof for 45 minutes. And before I go any further with these crumpets, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a little shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them. And also book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. And by popular demand, the skeleton style oven gloves are now available too. Just click on the eye icon top right of your screen and that'll take you to the website shop where all of these items are available now. Right, onto what moulds you need to make these amazing crumpets. Traditionally, crumpets are round, but they come in various sizes, and it's entirely up to you what size you prefer. There's large, medium or small. And there's lots of other shapes you can use too, like these seasonal cookie cutters. These also work great for making crumpets in, and my lot love them, especially the grandchildren. For this video I'll be using these rings. You can see the size of the ones I'm using on screen. I'll leave a link to where I got these 4 rings in the description box below the video. And I'll also quickly demonstrate some of the other shapes that I've shown. And to grease the moulds you'll need a pastry brush and some olive oil and a little softened butter. OK, once your 45 minutes proofing time is up, get it out from its warm spot, and providing your yeast was healthy, your crumpet mix should now be nice and bubbly. Just let that sit a while we move across to the cooker. Now heat up a large non-stick frying pan to approximately 190 Celsius, that's 375 Fahrenheit. Once your pan's up to temperature, take your pastry brush and give one of the moulds a good coat of the oil and butter. Place the ring in the frying pan, it should start gently sizzling. Now get your crumpet mix and fill the ring to about halfway up. Try to keep the pan at a steady 190 degrees Celsius, that's 375 Fahrenheit. Any hotter and the bottoms will burn before the tops are cooked. I can't give an exact time because your crumpets might be thinner or thicker than mine. Just eyeball them until you think they're right. Do the same for the other rings. You should be able to get 6 decent crumpets from this recipe. But do them a few at a time, don't overcrowd the pan. After around 5 minutes, the classic crumpet holes should start appearing from the sides at first and then move towards the middle. Use your oven mitts to lift off the rings. You can use a small pointed knife to pop some of the bubbles as shown. Once you see the middles are less gooey, you can carefully turn them over and brown off the tops. Now my fingers are used to this heat, but you be careful and use a fish slice to turn yours. Once the tops are golden brown, you can remove them and onto a wire rack. Repeat the process until all your mix is gone. Right, I did another batch of crumpet mix to show you some of the other seasonal shapes you can do using these stainless steel cookie cutters. They work great. Simply follow the exact same procedure as you did with the rings. If you grease the moulds properly, you won't have any issues with sticking. And I'll say it again, the secret to making perfect crumpets is keeping the pan temperature correct and constant. Do a practice run with your first couple. Now I purposely made mine at different thicknesses. As you can see, the thicker ones have slightly darker bottoms because they took a little longer to cook through, but not at all burnt. And these shaped ones are so cute and the kids really do love them. Obviously, don't use any cutters that has any plastic attached. Right, all there is to do now is to toast one and give it a try with lots of butter. Right, that's one of mine toasted for 3 minutes, and that's from cold. That rich golden brown colour looks so appetising. And while it's still piping hot, I'll get a good helping of butter on it. Give it a few seconds to melt in. Now time for a bite. And these also freeze very well too, by the way, so don't be frightened to make a big batch of them. They certainly won't be wasted. And oh yes, they have a wonderful crispy coat and the inside is soft, light and airy. And while it's still hot, I'm going to try some of my organic raspberry jam on. And don't just stick with butter and jam, there's loads of things you can top a crumpet with. And that is even better, absolutely delicious. I really hope you give these a try. There's nothing better than a couple of hot buttered crumpets for breakfast. And it's true what they say, the simple things in life are always the best. A huge thumbs up for this one, guys. And as promised at the beginning of the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are D. Higgins, Jill Green, Aroama, Lavinia Rawlinson, Sandy H, Mike the Weaver, Mohammed Furkri, W.M. Deuterman, Rupali Kapadia, Linda Headley, Tony Rowe, Sean Murphy, hello again, my name's John, Johnny Martin, Richard Seddon, Joe, Joshua Black, Mariana, Diane Permenter, Chris Swanson and Parklands. Thanks very much guys, I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.